First of all, George, pleasure to meet you.
Joe, great to talk to you. Great to see you in person.
Great to see you too. And Jeremy, good to see you again, my friend.
Hey, Joe, good to see you, man.
This is we're doing this often. This is becoming a thing.
I'm Dr. Peter McCullough. I'm an
shit.
internist and cardiologist. I'm also trained in epidemiology. I'm in academic practice in Dallas, Texas. So I see patients about half the time. I saw patients yesterday. I drove down today to see you here in the studio. And the rest of my time I spend...
Thank you also.
Joe.
Yeah, one thing that Bob talked about from some of the documents that he had been given when he was working at S4 was that they had actually taken a part in engineering human beings.
Like other retrieval programs, material. Just the fact that it's so hidden, even within its own mechanism, that they won't allow this scientific team to work on this project. It tells me, as Robbie says, something's up. I mean, something's up.
Rogan, do you know the second largest producer of hydroxychloroquine when the plant was mysteriously burned down outside of Taipei?
Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy.
Joe.
So what do you...
Yeah, and that is, to me, like if you look at people, one of the weird things about people is how much we vary. We're so different. Like, not like any other animal. Like, other than dogs. And dogs are the way they are because we've fucked with them. Because we've manipulated them. And we are the dogs of the rest of the world. You know, I mean, if you really think about it, we're so different than every other primate. There's not even anything close to us. And I know there were some other human species.
Joe,
you know, was the how do you say it? The
Chinese. The Chinese originally were collaborating with us very tightly. I mean, I have tons of emails from the Chinese. They were trying to alert us what's going on with COVID-19.
The Russians, Chinese, the Russians are working on it, and the Chinese are working on it. That we know of for sure. That's been told to me directly. Senator Reid had said that was one of the reasons he started the program. We're in trouble. Time.
Am I just wasting my precious energy here on nonsense? Like,
so what do you
operated in the opposite direction in that parallel universe?
Joe, this is very important. Leaders of the major churches, every single one of them, the major religious branches are under the spell. Every major global international leader is under the spell. We're in what's called a mass formation psychosis.
Joe Rogan questions everything. I have been frustrated to hell. Luckily, my mentor is George Knapp, and he's taught me the pit bull.
What is that?
It's a bird.
Like
it's
you're
a plane.
on mushrooms or something.
You're on psychedelic drugs. But if you look at people,
Joe,
and if you look at ancient
Joe,
but what if it turns out that we're an agricultural product?
Yeah.
You know, that we are being harvested or something, or we're being allowed to breed and kind of a science experiment. Let's see where this goes.
Joe,
I'm open to that possibility of that being the case. I mean, it's weird.
Not the craziest idea.
How do you fucking tell people that? Like, how are people going to react? And the way that it's so compartmentalized,
Jose Rogan,
that's been the best proof to me as well.
I mean, I'm not sure people can handle it. Look at how they've handled COVID.
Joe, if you wanted to find the collusions and the operations between the Gates Foundation and Gavi and CEPI and Pfizer and Moderna and the vaccine manufacturers and the Wuhan lab and the National Institutes of Health and Ralph Barrick and University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and how all this was organized. If you want to see the Johns Hopkins planning seminar called the SPARS pandemic in 2017,
I think that's
where the
entirely
CDC
possible.
director came out and said, you know what? You can't get it twice. We've never had a single
But I have a
case.
friend that got it
You
twice.
have a friend who thinks he had it twice.
You know.
So there might be some scary explanations ultimately that
that the aliens came down here and they got a hold of the lower hominids and they accelerated the evolutionary process and they created human beings.
Joe. Jose Rogan